What's up, nerds? Welcome to the DNA Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrick, and alongside me this week is Joey Pease. What's up, Joey?
Not a whole lot, everybody.
I'm so glad you're wearing that ridiculous hat. Makes me so happy.
Maybe I'll wear it every time. I don't know.
Yes.
It's a hassle. Make sure I have it with me all the time. But
You should just have it with you all the time anyway. It's amazing. It's amazing. We will hopefully have everyone back next week. Brian's moving and Cameron's working, and holiday schedules are still a mess. But anyways, we scheduled a very special guest this week. Unfortunately, that guest canceled, and we're stuck with Shaniqua himself, Matthew Kiel, from our friends over at Platinum Achievement Podcast. What's up, Matt?
Are you play? How are you guys? I have to take that hat off. I can't hold that thing off. Sorry. I'm so glad to be here. I've been such a fan. I feel like I don't belong here. So thank you for having me.
Well, you don't
not belong here.
Nobody else wanted to do it. So
well, then it's their loss. Their loss, Shaniqua's gain. I'll take it. I will take it all day. What's going on, fellas?
Lot.
Hey, Joey, I just want to say I'm not going to pass out the way I did. So I've not been working for 12 hours today. Good to go.
Oh
Good
my gosh.
Didn't we go and try to take a picture right next to him or something?
Yeah, he was okay.
Yeah.
Here's how the story goes for the listeners that weren't there. It was me, Joey, Matt, and a couple guys from Nerd Overdrive. We were running the Crota raid, and we got to Ute, and we defeated Ute, and we were sitting by the giant crystal in the middle of the room before we went out and tried to take on Crota. We were all kneeling there while people were like going to the bathroom and stuff. And in that time, Matt falls asleep.
Yep.
But we didn't even really notice because Crota is so easy that you can really do it with 4 people without blinking. And we come back. We're like, where's Matt? And we go back to the crystal, and he's just kneeling there. And we were like, Matt, are you there? Are you there? And
someone got to be the Tebow, yo. Someone got to be the Tebow.
and he was sleeping. And like we took the picture of the raid group and went on, and I forget what we started playing. Joey, did we go off and do strikes or something?
Yeah, we were off doing strikes, and I think Brian was doing Crucible or something.
Yeah,
I don't remember. There's a few people still in the party.
Yeah, and like 45 minutes later, Matt's like, did I miss something? And he totally passes out.
Classic Shaniqua. Classic Shaniqua.
It was so funny.
So I come back, and I was actually watching you guys for like 5 or 10 minutes before I actually said something. I was like, what should I say? And I'm just like, well, let's ask. Did I miss something? And you're like, yeah, we beat a raid boss. And I'm like, oh, great.
Oh my gosh.
So I've raided now, and I didn't even know it.
I think that was my favorite part. You just coming back. Did I miss something?
Yeah, that was so funny. It's so classic. So classic. All right, let's
we gotta do that so I can pass out.
Let's get into the stupid stuff so we can get on with this show. Remember, you can find all of our content and new shows right here on our YouTube channel or on digitalnerdadvocates.com. Please like, subscribe, and share us, as well as download our podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Please go rate us on iTunes so more friends can find us, or not. I don't care. Find our merch at redbubble.com. Just search DNA Network. It's all one word. We have shirts, stickers, coffee mugs, bags, hoodies, all kinds of stuff. So
everything.
Yeah, there's a lot. As you can see, I'm trying.
And I'm just gonna.
Shirt.
Yeah, it's a nice looking shirt. I can't wait to get mine. I will say this: that stuff, Corey, is decidedly not stupid. I mean, did you not hear the story that you just told? I mean, you play games with me, and stupid happens.
You know what we need? You know what game we need to play is Rocket League.
Yeah.
We need to get some sort of.
So fun. That game is so.
I scored
playing it today. I was playing it today.
Oh my gosh, I played it. Stop. I played it like a couple weeks ago for a Let's Play. I scored my first goal, and it was so exciting. Oh my gosh!
Like I mean, I don't want to be too promotional, but like I listened to the Giant Bombcast,
Yeah.
and for one of their moments of the year, like scoring a goal in Rocket League.
Yeah.
Just anytime you score, it doesn't matter if it's a garbage goal. It doesn't matter
Oh
if
my
it
gosh, mine
doesn't
was
matter if
such a
it's a shot
garbage
from
goal.
across the field. Any goal
I
you
have
score, you're just like, yes!
I have
It's
the
great.
most amazing save, and then proceeding to go scoring recorded on one of my Twitch videos because I was happened to be streaming at the time I was doing it. So it was like the most impressive thing I had ever done. Like I drove up the wall and right down in front of
Oh,
it in the
like a
goal
champ
to
you did.
block the ball, then proceeded to go and by myself hit the ball all the way, like juggle it around pretty much and get it into their goal. Like it was like the best 10 seconds I've ever had of that game.
Oh
That's
yeah,
amazing.
it's a beautiful thing. That game is pure joy. I have a similar story to that. In our community, in the Platinum Achievement community, Tim Nestor. One day, he a few other members and I were playing. We just decided to just go run fours because we had four of us. And I had a similar goal to that, but I got an epic save. Because
Yeah.
you can get that in Rocket League. Bounced it all out of the goal, ran up the wall to just keep possession, and I ended up just running down the field, and I passed to Tim for like the final goal, and that was how we ended our night. It was beautiful,
That's
beautiful.
awesome. Yeah, the goal I scored, I went up this wall and I was trying to figure out the controls again because it had been so long since I played it and I suck at games anyway. And so I ramped up the wall and over our goal and hit the ball towards like half field or whatever. I boost to half field and their team's already down at the other end, and I hit it and I was like, this isn't going anywhere because it's veering to the right. It hits one of their cars and bounces into the goal. I'm like,
Yeah,
sure. Why not?
it's one of those things. You put the controller down, high five yourself. You're like, game,
Yeah, yeah.
let's play, son. I love that game.
It was awesome.
Love
It was a
that
goal.
game.
It was a goal to tie the game, and we ended up winning. But
Have you played the hockey? Have you played the hockey?
not yet.
No, not yet.
Oh, dude, after this, we're running threes. We're playing hockey. Rocket hockey is a gorgeous thing. You have no idea.
I have the update installed, I think, but
I hope I do. I don't know if.
oh my gosh, Rocket League! What a game! What a game! What a surprise game!
Yeah,
Who saw that coming?
I don't know.
Anybody?
And honestly, when I first saw anything about it, I was like, really? Like people are excited about this game? And then like I played it and I'm like, I understand now. Like this is just it's an amazing idea and they executed it very well. It just
Yeah.
it's excellent.
Yeah, in the first things I heard about, I was like, this game sounds so stupid. A bunch of cars playing soccer. I'm like, that sounds so stupid. And then when like it was free for PlayStation Plus, I'm like, well, I'll download it because I download every free PlayStation Plus game. And I tried out a little bit. I'm like, I sat there and played, even though I didn't score, I sat and played for like an hour and a half the first night it came out. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's amazing.
Yeah, like I've said it since it came out. That game is more fun than it has any right to be.
Oh my gosh.
Because I mean, I had a friend come in for Thanksgiving, and I said, I'm gonna show you a game called Rocket League. He's like, oh, what's Rocket League? I go, imagine cars pushing a giant soccer ball into a net. He's like, that sounds stupid, and I'm not like stupid fun, legit dumb. Like,
Yeah.
why would I waste my time? Because he and I are both like super Fallout fans, so he was excited to play Fallout 4. He's like, I don't want to. We played Rocket League for 5 hours. 5 hours. He and I sat on my couch right over that way. 5 hours, and we're just like, we can't stop. We can't stop.
Can't stop.
Can't stop. Won't stop. I can't do that Chappelle dance, so I'm not going to try.
Well, I guess that's a good segue into what we've been playing. I mean, Rocket League sounds like very popular opinion, but what else have we been playing?
I yield to the hosts.
Okay.
Joey, what you been playing?
Yeah, Joey, we'll start with you.
You been playing that Final Fantasy again?
Yeah, I always do that. My raid group is so close to clearing the Alexander Savage now, to the point where we've gotten 1% wipes, I think 4 times now. So we're just like we barely miss the DPS check, and it's always because we lose a tank or two. And like if they were alive the whole entire time, we would have had it. So That's something.
Sounds like healers aren't doing work, son.
Well,
Yeah. Joey.
well, I'm not the healer anymore. That was before I was a healer. Now I'm a caster, so that's
Okay.
not even my job anymore. Um, yeah, no, but I mean that on my raid nights and whatnot. But I finally beat the final boss of the Bloodborne DLC, so that took me.
Yeah, you were telling
forever
me
and a
about
half.
that at
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
I haven't even started. Bloodborne was one of my favorite games last year. I haven't started that yet. I need to get on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
I
DLC
love
is
Bloodborne.
definitely a step up compared to like the game. It's so much more difficult
Did you play Did you play Dark Souls 2 at all?
now.
Oh, okay, because I was going to ask if it was comparable to that step up for DLC because that was kind of redonkulous. I'm excited to play the Bloodborne DLC just because I like. There's something special about how that game feels, even in context of the Souls series.
Yeah.
What else you been playing?
There's something. Can't. Nope. Guess just that for now.
When in doubt, say Rocket League.
uh,
Corey, what you been playing? I'm
uh,
taking this from you, man. Sorry.
I see that. I've been playing a ton of the Uncharted collection and Tomb Raider. I'm trying, like, I'm on my second playthrough of Tomb Raider. I'm doing the Let's Plays. That's the game I chose for Let's Plays. That and Uncharted 1. Oh my gosh, dude, Tomb Raider is my game of the year, without a
Really?
doubt. Yeah, Tomb Raider is
Okay.
so good. I cannot wait till PS4 players can play this game. It is so good. Just the way, like, the tension in the game, as well as like the exploration and stuff, is just it's so mind blowing. And like I've gone back to play Uncharted, and like those games play very similar. It's like playing them together is, I think it's, if you're gonna play more than one game together for what we're doing with Let's Plays and stuff, it's seriously awesome to do that because you can see the inspiration from Uncharted for Tomb Raider, and now turning around and seeing the inspiration from Tomb Raider for the new Uncharted. It's like, it's amazing. But other than that, I'm about a third of the way through Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which, it's still Assassin's Creed. It's way better than Unity. It's not nearly as good as Black Flag. The movement is still really clunky. Climbing up buildings and going down buildings are two separate buttons, which is stupid. Like, all right, PlayStation controller. If you press R2 to free run, and then you press X to climb up a building, which, in the other games, that's also how you got down buildings.
Right.
Well, in this one, it's free run up, which is X, and free run down, which is circle. And it is the most unnecessary fix that they did from Unity. It's weird. Like, it's weird. I get so confused because I've been playing Tomb Raider and Uncharted at the same time, and you just run up to the wall and grab it, and you press what direction you want to go, and that's what direction you go. It should be that simple in Assassin's Creed, especially a game that surrounds parkour and climbing and getting places that you otherwise couldn't get to in these other games. So I don't know. I like the setting. I think the characters are awesome. I really like Jacob and Evie Fried. They're the most compelling characters since Edward and since Ezio, which, those games are awesome too. And the train fighting is really cool. Jumping from train to fight people and get to where you need to go is really cool. But they need to do something, which, we'll get into in a little bit, where there's a rumor that Assassin's Creed is going to take a year off this year. But that's what I've been playing.
See, it's funny, like Tomb Raider and Assassin's Creed, they're both kind of in traditions that I do not. I'm not going to say I think they're bad. I'm just saying I don't like them. But I've heard enough good about Rise of the Tomb Raider that I'm like, man, I kind of want to try it. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, same thing. I platinumed Assassin's Creed 2. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. And I never, ever, I mean, when I bought a Vita, I bought the Assassin's Creed Liberation Vita. And you know what I did? I opened it while I was in the GameStop and said, you can have this back. How much can I get for it?
Yeah.
Like, and then they, that brought me Borderlands 2. So thank you, GameStop.
That's the first.
And I've heard enough about, I know, right? I've heard enough about Assassin's Creed Syndicate that has me interested.
Here's the thing about Assassin's Creed. If you're not a fan of the series, this one's not going to draw you in. Same as Tomb Raider. If you did not like the 2013 reboot,
which I didn't play. I didn't play because I don't like Uncharted.
oh well, I mean, it's
And
not.
I know Ray Osorio is somewhere going, Matt, I need
I
to
know.
fucking
I can hear
But-
Ray just being like, man. But I mean, Tomb Raider and Uncharted, like they're compared a lot, but they're actually totally different types of games. Where Tomb Raider is kind of about survival and crafting and stealth kills and exploring these tombs, whereas Uncharted's more about shooting and these big set pieces and moving on to the next place. Where like that's why I like Tomb Raider more than Uncharted. I know that may be an unpopular opinion, especially for PlayStation fans, but man, Tomb Raider, and like I love the new direction that they're taking Lara. I honestly do. Like, she's not the embarrassing 90s pixelated weirdness that she was on PS1.
Sorry to interrupt, but speaking of that, like if you didn't like those games back then,
Right.
Is this
these are totally different games.
Okay.
Nothing
All
like
right.
those.
I'm trying to think. I want to say like it's an action adventure game, but think movement like I want to say almost like Splinter Cell / Ghost Recon type.
I'd say the closest thing I could compare it to, it's like Dead Space type.
Yeah, exactly. Dead Space.
Okay. Joey mentioned a game I've played. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, Dead Space, perfect example. Thank you, Joey. And you can find it's just this gameplay loop of finding equipment to upgrade your stuff, to move on to the temples and explore the hidden tombs and stuff. I think it's all just really interesting, and I love the way they're taking Lara, where she's she survived the island attack, or she survived the island from the first game, and she's having all kinds of psychological issues while she's looking for her dad and what her dad started, and it's just really interesting. And Is
this Dead Space but island adventure? Because it's psychological
it's funny,
issues in the second game.
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, it sounds like that first Dead Space, but with an additional thing. Hey, you can get equipment to go see tombs.
Here's the thing. I'm not playing Tomb Raider for the story, really, because it's not, great. It's not an Uncharted type story. It's not, Last of Us caliber story, but it's enough to move the the gameplay loops along. So the one thing that I really don't like is the fact that you need to waste skill points to pick up certain weapons. Like if you kill a guy with a rifle, you can't just run up to the rifle and pick it up. You have to be able to learn how to use a rifle before you get it, which, okay, that's a weird gameplay
if this
thing, but
were
it's
real
weird.
life, that would make sense.
It's
a
just
video game.
It's just a little weird because in the last game, like you had to do the same thing where you had to learn how to use the rifle, which makes sense because she was an archaeologist that had to learn how to survive. But she's already been through that, so like I don't know why they didn't just work it in somehow. But
just make it so you can't actually get a rifle until like the point where they think it's necessary for you to be able to use one or something.
Yeah, and like that's fine. Which the bow and arrow and the pistol are enough for me anyway. I like those weapons way better than the rifles anyway. But I don't know. Tomb Raider is my game of the year last year. I didn't finish a lot of games. I haven't even started Fallout. I haven't started Metal Gear. I mean, gosh, I'm
gonna say it right now. Starting Metal Gear Solid 5, and that's the first Metal Gear Solid game I've personally played. It's like trying to learn how to swim by being dropped in the ocean. I'm stealing that quote from a community member, Tim Nestor. Yeah, that was his. But that's exactly what it is. And like I played a couple missions and I'm like, okay, I get this. I think it's really awesome. But oh man, I don't even know. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I didn't even realize the story progress of those games is so ridiculous because it's like This one actually takes the place in like the middle of the whole entire like story apparently told across the games. And
Yeah.
that's what I was like. That's weird. I thought this one was like supposed to be at the end, but it's I don't know. So that's what I was like. I have no idea where like even if I would want to get into this type of game universe, I wouldn't know where to start because it's like, do you play it from like the first chronologically through the last, or do you
Well,
start at the beginning? Because I mean, wasn't like the first one like, or the Metal Gear Solid 1, wasn't that like supposedly like one of the last in the series or something like that? Like,
it's like it goes what
It goes.
Snake Eater, Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes, Phantom Pain, 1, 2, 4, and then somewhere the MSX versions are in there.
Everyone forgets about Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 on NES. Those are the only two I've played.
Yeah.
Metal Gear 1 and 2 on NES. And those games were great when I was like 9. They
Yeah.
were fantastic. But then
Yeah.
again, every time text came up, I just hit A or B or whatever it was to skip everything because I didn't care.
Yeah.
right.
That sounds like
They
another
were using
game that's
big
more
words
for.
I probably still don't even know the definition of. But okay.
That's another game where like I don't know anything about that series at all. Like I played 2 hours of Metal Gear Solid 2 on PS2 when it came out, and I was like, I don't understand this game because I'm dumb and I don't understand video games. And I put it down and I didn't play another Metal Gear game. I own them, but I have not played them. So like that's kind of my thing where I started playing Ground Zeroes and I'm like, isn't this supposed to be a stealth game? And I just dropped out on these rocks and I'm like crawling through the grass. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be real stealthy. I'm crawling through the grass.
Then you're
There's
noticed.
2 guards over here. There's one up in the watchtower. There's nowhere to hide. And I'm like, fuck it. And I bust out my gun and I take out 5 guards, bust open the chain link door, and I hide behind this barrier. And I see all these guards running, and I'm just like, this is not how this game's supposed to be played. And I just start shooting these guys, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch a YouTube video first before I start this game. So I turned it off and started playing something else. But
You played Metal Gear Solid like I played Just Cause. It's great.
I mean, this is a stealth game. Why can't I just be sneaky? Like I have to. There's no way you can get past that first part. So I still need to do that, which I am going to do that for a future Let's Play because those are like Metal Gear Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain are 2 games that I'm. Well, it's basically the same game, but I'm really interested in that gameplay loop, and I like the idea that you can have, your partners or whatever they're called, like. And any game that you can have a dog as a companion, I'm sold. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm like that's literally the only reason why I bought Fallout 4
You
was
just want to
because
have a dog.
I want to play with dog meat.
Dude, dog meat rules. Now, I have it. I didn't play enough Metal Gear Solid 5 to get to D-Dog, but dog meat has my heart, man. I mean, I put armor on him. I put goggles on him. I put a bandana on him. It was great.
Yeah.
Dog meat rules.
He'll follow you and attack everything he can as long as you're around. Like
Yeah.
legit, he doesn't care. He'll run up and just start attacking a Deathclaw, and you'll sit there and just be like, "Why not?" So,
And then, but then the minute that Deathclaw hurts dog meat, you're like, "Oh, you're dead.
yeah,
You are dead,
hear,
sir."
You see him limping, you hear that whimper. Oh, he just messed up
it's
right
on.
now.
It's on. Few things have got my blood rushing as much as dog meat's whimper this year. And if I had D-Dog, it might have been the same thing because D-Dog has an eye patch, and he can use a knife.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. I was listening.
Huh?
I was listening to Giant Bomb's their whole like year in review series of podcasts this week that were like they were all like 4 hours long, and I could not.
Oh yeah.
I could not get enough of it. And
Yeah,
like,
it's great.
they were
I
talking
love
about
it every
Metal
year.
Gear, and they were like, I think Dan Reichert was the one talking about it, and he was like, D-Dog can use a knife. And the best thing is when you send D-Dog up to a guy and just have him bust out the knife and start stabbing guys in the face. I'm like,
Yep.
oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
How does
And the fact that D-Dog can wear an eye patch and you can give him different scarves and stuff, I'm like, okay, I'm in. I'm down. I'm so in.
how does a dog use a knife? I don't know.
Who cares?
with his mouth.
Where does he pull it from? He just has it all the time in his
Okay,
mouth.
I'm gonna tell you the gestation of D-Dog using a knife. If you've ever played the original Dark Souls, which I'm just going to assume neither of you have,
Yeah.
there is Sif the Wolf, who wields a sword. A sword. And that boss battle is difficult. He makes it difficult.
I don't think I made it to a boss.
I don't think I made it to that boss.
That's fine.
but-
That's fine. But like honestly, YouTube it. It's redonkulous, and you're like sad when you get this guy down to like 1/10 of his health because he starts limping and whimpering. You're like, oh, I don't want to hurt you anymore. But like, but you mentioned Dan Reichert. I think he's the only person in the world that probably thinks he thinks Metal Gear Solid makes sense, and I've tried over the years. I've tried to just deep dive into the lore and understand it without playing the games. Maybe that's my problem.
Yeah,
And-
I think the only other person besides Dan Reichert is Mitch Dyer from IGN. When he talks about Metal Gear, he's like, "Oh, it all makes sense." I'm like,
No, it doesn't.
I've read pages upon pages of wikis
Yeah.
getting ready for 5 because I don't feel like going back and playing like 100 hours worth of games because at the time I was way too into Destiny to care about any other game. But
You Destiny never.
I mean, I'm not even the bad one in the group. But like, I'm just like, I don't even understand, and it's spelled out right here in front of me in plain English.
Well, see, I think I've watched 5 different YouTube videos posted by 5 different users that say Metal Gear Solid made easy.
And it still is easy.
And those 5 different videos are equally confusing in different ways and tell different stories. I'm just like, maybe it's probably the same thing for like, Indian food. I just don't. So many people I know love Indian food. I'm the problem. That's what it is. I'm the problem. So, video games.
Video games. Speaking of video games, it's a new year. There's a bunch of news.
Oh boy.
But we're not going to cover all the news because there's enough places that do that. But there are some interesting things. So we're going to move into news bits. According to reports, Assassin's Creed will be taking a year off in 2016, and the next game will be taking place in Egypt in 2017. The same reports say that Watch Dogs 2 will be announced this year at E3 and take the fall spot that is usually garnered by Assassin's Creed. Now, we have 2 questions about this subject. Megan Green asks, are you surprised that AC might be taking the year off? Also, is Egypt the right move? The series has progressed through time up until now, and going back in time seems like an odd move for the series. And then Max Scarden, I hope I'm saying his name right. Are you excited for another Watch Dogs instead of AC this year? Well, the story in Assassin's Creed is about as ridiculous as Metal Gear at this point.
Yeah.
So,
So dial that one back. It's ridiculous, yes.
yeah.
But I'm sorry, no one creates the anime fever dream that Kojima did.
That's true. That's true.
The thing about Assassin's Creed's story is that at this point now, they've made it so ridiculously open-ended that they can really go wherever they want, and they're not going to be really messing with anything, like lore-wise, that they've created. So,
yeah, at this point, I think Assassin's Creed needs to work on gameplay mechanics instead. Like
I think they need to finish. They need to stop with the line of Assassin's Creed games. Like it's just gone on too long. Like like when Assassin's Creed 3 came out, I thought, okay, this is gonna probably be one of the later ones. There's probably gonna be 1 or 2 more after this, and they're gonna be done. No, they're like continuing on until they bleed this one dry. Like it's just
like I really like the settings. Like I don't care about anything that's happening in the now times or the near future or whatever. Like, I don't care because they don't care because they don't even give you a character to play in the future. You're just in this one, you're just like this floating camera. You're not even a person. You're just a floating camera that follows around the two like assassin scientists that helped you escape in the first one and helped you out in the Desmond arc. But I do like their world building is amazing. The depth of the history that they go into in these areas is amazing. But their gameplay, man, they need to figure it out. Like the combat is fun. The combat's fun. I think it's better than Batman, which a lot of people give Batman a lot of credit for having a good combat system, which I think it's highly overrated. I didn't play Arkham Knight because I don't care about that series since Asylum. I still think Asylum is the best game in that series, but I think the counter moves are cool. I think the defense break moves are cool. They need to work on movement. They need to take the time and work on their engine for character movement. I mean, like I was saying before, 2 buttons to climb up and down, like that's stupid. That's so stupid. There's plenty of other games that do that just fine without pressing any buttons. So, I don't know.
I mean, I'm going to chime in here. I don't know if Joey was going to say anything. I'm sorry if I cut you off, Joey. But the thing is, the Assassin's Creed is in the same camp of games like Call of Duty. The minute they stop making money, we won't get them anymore. The fact that Ubisoft has taken the chances, I mean, especially with Black Flag, that was like, because the present day stuff was basically a game development company that didn't really trust itself anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of meta thing is awesome in terms of storytelling. I didn't play the game, so I can't really comment much more than that. But as long as the fact of the matter is, the bottom line is the top priority. And if they keep making money, they're going to keep making the game.
Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that Assassin's Creed is taking a year off, if that does happen, that'll be a good thing for the series because people will look and say, "Oh, okay, I could take a breather on Assassin's Creed." Now, if the next Watch Dogs comes out and it blows the first Watch Dogs out of the water, and I know this is probably sacrilege, but I didn't play Watch Dogs based on reviews where people were like, it's all right, but it's just not that good. And so I'm like, okay, fine, don't need to do it. But if that were to be like the reviews Assassin's Creed 2 got, because people said that game was darn near perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if that just sort of builds on what Watch Dogs 1 was the way Assassin's Creed 2 did, I'll probably play it Watch Dogs 2. And then maybe they will come back with renewed energy into an Assassin's Creed game and make it a weird, wild narrative that the world can get behind.
Yeah.
I mean, because we say the same thing about Call of Duty every year. Maybe they should take a year off so, Sledgehammer can get its crap together, or Raven can get its crap together. So instead, we're not getting, a Black Ops, which Black Ops 3 was awesome, by the way. And then we're getting, Ghosts, which everybody hated to a certain degree. Reviews are mixed on Advanced Warfare, but, that's the exception that proves the rule, probably.
I mean, I think that as long as they're not going to just take a year off and focus on something else for a year and then come back and just do a year of Assassin's Creed again, to the point where they didn't improve anything, it's just going to be the same thing, just they separated it out by, an extra year. I think that's going to be bad for them, because then it's going to be like, people are going to be like, we waited this extra year and you're just giving us the same type of product that you gave us before. Because, I mean, it's just, I don't know, I feel like they always rush their games out too quick with that. So I feel like if they spent their time and made a really good, solid game, like made the movement, like Corey's saying, it doesn't work that well, and they got that down right, they made sure their combat system like works as well as it has in the previous ones and make sure it stays like solid, then I think that they could come out with a game that everyone will love. And they can, I mean, their story's always really good. Like Corey said, that I mean, the outside world, you can forget about that now because that just makes no sense anymore. But I mean, the rest of it's just awesome, and it's always a fun time to go through and play as someone else. But it's like like I said, it just feels like they rush all their products out the door, and they give unfinished products to the consumers and whatnot. And I mean, that was one of the major problems with Watch Dogs was that when it came out, it was a disaster. At least on the PC, I know that people like could not play it because of how bad it was like optimized for PC players. It was just a disaster. So I mean, like, I feel like they just rush everything. So if they take their time and use that extra year to actually make a solid game, then it's going to be a good thing for them.
Yeah, and that, like, the thing about Watch Dogs is I was at that point where I was like, okay, every third-party game that comes out on Wii U, I'm getting it for Wii U because I love Nintendo and I'm trying to support this thing that nobody else seems to be supporting. So, like, that's another thing. Like, Watch Dogs had like such poor reviews, and then it came out like not poor reviews, but like, you know, 7s, 8s, whatever. And then it comes out on Wii U 6 months later when it's already discounted on these other consoles, and like they didn't really fix any of the problems that the other console versions had. And like, if you're gonna take the time to delay one version of the game, like, fix it, make sure it runs right. But like, I don't know. I don't know. Watch Dogs was a weird one for me. I enjoyed what I played to an extent, but at the same time, I'm like, there should probably be more here. And I'm hoping like Watch Dogs 2 is really good because what they did with Assassin's Creed 2 compared to 1 was amazing. So I'm hopeful for Watch Dogs. I'm gonna wait obviously and see what like reviews are and stuff like that. But I think it's good that AC's taking a year off, and if Watch Dogs is the one to take its place, let's hope it's good.
I mean, if they alternate the two, it's kind of it's an oddly symbiotic thing because here you've got, let's look at the past. And and I said earlier on the show that Assassin's Creed 2 was one of the worst experiences of my life trying to platinum that game. However, I cannot say that game wasn't beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, it was great to wander through that time in Italy. It's a video game. I know it's not historically accurate, whatever. But some games try that and make it terrible. Both to look at and to play. And if Watch Dogs 2 builds on Watch Dogs 1 in a very similar way, like Corey just said, it'll be a good thing. It'll be a good thing.
Yeah.
Whether or not I play it is still to be decided, but hopefully, we go that way.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to the next story. I think we spent a lot of time on that, which it should be. I mean, Assassin's Creed is a big title for Ubisoft, but Star Wars: The Force Awakens is now the second highest domestic grossing film of all time, sailing past Titanic and within reach of Avatar. Not really surprised.
Nope.
It's quite the movie. I've seen it twice. I mean, I loved it. I think it was everything that it's everything this movie needed to be. Whether or not people think it was like too much of a rehash of the A New Hope or whatever, which I don't really. I mean, parts of it were, but I don't really necessarily agree with that. But it was a great movie, and I can't, like, it makes me want to see the next movie. Like, seriously, it does. And I haven't had that. Like, when I saw Avengers, I didn't need to see the next one. Like, I wanted to, but it's not like this. It's
That's understandable. I mean, this was just. It was phenomenal, like, all around. I just enjoyed every second of it. I mean, there wasn't a single point where I was sitting there going, all right, what's going to happen next? Because I just moved the plot along. Like, it was fine the whole way through.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't know how much I care about Rogue One, but whatever Ryan Johnson is doing for the next installment of Star Wars,
Yeah,
I'm ready.
I know.
I want to see it. I I had the weirdest experience, and I said this on my show. I had the weirdest experience going to see The Force Awakens because I was surrounded by, I don't know if they were single dads, but it was just dads and their kids.
Yeah.
Or it might have been just, clearly the dad was the one into Star Wars and wanted to introduce the kids, whatever. But I'm a film nerd at heart. Like that's probably the one piece of media that I know the most about, more than music and more than video games. And I could not watch this with any ounce of cynicism because the way that the kids around me reacted was unbridled joy. And so every time, like once you see BB-8 do the thumbs up, I'm like, yes! And I'm like high-fiving this 8-year-old next to me. It was great. It was great. Like, and I do not like J.J. Abrams as a filmmaker. I just don't. You can hate me all you want. But the team on this film, including him, nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a masterpiece of cinema, but I think it's the Star Wars movie we always want. And the fact that it uses so much of New Hope, we got to remember, New Hope is a ripoff of Greek mythology, the chronology of a hero, and all of Akira Kurosawa's samurai films.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not pretend A New Hope is this original thing, because it really isn't if you really want to dial it back. And the fact that this film calls so much back to that, I'm pretty sure, I'm looking at you both, it reached deep within you and said, you know what? This is Star Wars.
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, this is what I want.
Yeah. Like this, like the last couple of weeks, my fiance has never seen Star Wars, which is understandable. She's a
That's okay.
26-year-old girl who is into girly things and whatever. But like,
no, don't be like that, Corey. Don't be like that.
No, I'm just saying she's like.
Remember, she puts up with you.
I know, that's true. That's amazing in and itself. But yeah, how she decided to want to marry me is unthinkable. I don't even know. But
I didn't get to say this on the new cast with Todd, but congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Man, we need to start that up again. But what we did was we watched the whole series, Sans 7. We watched 1 through 6, and she was a fan. And like we watched 4 and 5 first, and then we watched the prequels, and then
did you do that machete order crap?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, you guys are morons. Listen, I'm going to say this right now. The machete order, and I don't know how censored you guys are, bullshit. It's just bullshit. Because, listen, you watch the original trilogy, 4, 5, and 6, I'm going to say it, and then you watch 1, 2, and 3, and you're good. Now, I could go on a 3-hour rant and make 1 a better movie than it is, because it really is.
Yeah.
And 3 a better movie than it is, because it really is. 2 is flat out garbage.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to say Jar Jar Binks ruined Star Wars, nah, that love story in 2 ruined Star Wars, because that was some of the most sterile writing in the history of cinema. But the machete order doesn't need to exist. Continue, Corey. Sorry.
But we watched it, and like this is what we came away with. The original trilogy is awesome. 1 is okay. Jar Jar's an idiot. 2 is abysmal.
Yes.
3 is the most watchable of the original trilogy. Not the prequel trilogy.
Okay.
But she also said I would watch the original trilogy again, but I could go the rest of my life without seeing the prequels again. And I said, okay, I can deal with that.
Hey, Corey, I've got 2 words of advice for you. Keep her.
That's the plan.
Good.
That's the plan.
Good.
But
she's behind you, isn't she?
I think so. I think she's like trying to sneak in the door.
She's like, She's like, "What'd you say about me?"
She's like, "You're talking about me, aren't you? You're talking about me. No dinner for you."
I don't know your fiance's name, but I promise you, Corey's fiance, it's all good things.
Sticking with movies, Christoph Waltz wants to return for 2 more Bond films, but only if Daniel Craig plays the title role. Waltz, what?
Sorry. I just know, didn't Daniel Craig say he'd die before he played James Bond again?
Yeah, but he's still
Something
under
like
contract for 1 more, and it looks like he's going to play 1 more. Walt, this is a spoiler, so Joey, if you plan on seeing Spectre or care about Spectre at all, plug your ears. Christoph Waltz plays James Bond long lost adopted brother and villain in last fall's Spectre.
That's weird. That's real weird. Because all I can see is the Nazi guy from Inglourious Basterds.
I mean, he was pretty much dressed like that, so through the whole film.
I mean, just no, Mr. Bond. I expect you to die. I don't know. I don't know what else to think.
I liked Spectre. I don't know. A lot of people didn't like it, but I enjoyed it. You guys didn't see it?
Well, I didn't see it. Like I kind of know that whenever there's a new Bond, every other Bond is you watch the first one because Casino Royale follows the pattern. It's really good. And then the minute I saw trailers for Quantum of Solace, for some reason in my head, I sort of knew it was a commercial for something. I didn't know what for, but I'm like, nah, I'm gonna skip that. Skyfall was brilliant, I thought. I don't think it's a masterpiece. That's another debate. And then Spectre, I looked at it and I'm like, that's a Bond movie. I don't know if I want to see it. That's a Bond movie.
I mean, that's exactly what it was. It was a Bond movie.
Eventually I'll probably see it because I've seen every Bond movie multiple times for reasons I cannot explain on this show. I think I need a therapist to really articulate it properly. But.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a cookie cutter Bond film. It was good for what it was. I mean, I didn't expect anything more or less. I mean, I went in like whatever, and that's like, if there's 2 film series that me and my dad love to go see together, it's Indiana Jones and James Bond. Every time one of those movies comes around, we go see it, and it's amazing, except for the 4th Indy movie.
Well, see, the thing is, I walked out of the 4th Indy movie not hating it.
I've seen it twice.
I haven't watched it again. I don't want to watch it again because I don't want to hate it. Because I know I will.
I've seen it twice. And the first time I was like, yeah, Indiana Jones back. And I was like super excited. And I didn't really process like, okay, this movie is like weird. And then I saw it the second time. I'm like, we're going to use this Blu-ray disc as a coaster while I watch the Indiana Jones trilogy. Like that's what I'm doing.
I mean, the Indiana Jones trilogy, and so many people take a dump on Last Crusade. Last Crusade's a better movie than people remember it.
Dude, Last Crusade's my favorite of the 3.
See, because you know, that's why we're buds, Corey.
It's got Sean Connery in it. What's not to love?
Exactly. It's got James Bond in it. That's why.
We must go to Berlin.
Junior. And then they find out that they both slept with the same girl. It's awesome.
I know.
It's so good. It's so good. And then the Holy Grail. Oh, it's great. It's
so good. It's so good.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Can we just have an Indiana Jones episode? Matt, you and me are just going to do an Indiana Jones episode.
I'm in.
Yes.
Where do I sign?
I'll pass on that one.
I will even watch that young Indiana Jones BS to get involved if I have to. Joey, what are your thoughts?
I've only ever seen the 4th.
Corey, let's talk about Indiana Jones.
4th Indiana Jones movie. I've seen most of the 3rd one, but I've never seen like the first 3 all the way through. It's always been like I'll catch them on TV and I enjoy them there, so I'll just watch them there. But it's like I've never actually sat down and watched them. So
I'm gonna let you borrow my Blu-rays.
Dude,
I'm just
I,
gonna
I'm
and then don't be surprised if the fourth one won't play because it has a big coaster stain on it. But
right.
you don't need
I've seen the fourth one, so I've
so.
I've got that one.
And
But
Joey, I'm not trying to be didactic here, but I will say that Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade are worth your time.
right, that's
They are as they are as worth your time as the Star Wars
Yeah,
trilogy.
I like Indiana Jones better than Star Wars. I mean, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Like
That's fine.
I've said it
That's fine.
before. Like I'm not a hardcore Star Wars fan, but I like the movies. I love the
Yeah.
original trilogy, but I'm not like reading every single comic or book, or I'm not watching the cartoons on TV.
It's
Like,
too much.
yeah, it's a
But
lot.
Indiana Jones, like you should see.
Yeah,
Like those first three, you should definitely see in their entirety. They are the first one definitely, and I know that I'm going to take some crap for this. That's an essential film for someone to watch.
yeah,
Anybody. You don't even have to be a film nerd to watch that.
right.
Temple of Doom is probably one of the top 5 greatest popcorn movies ever.
it's so weird. It
Oh,
is so weird.
From that Japanese version of Anything Goes to the end where they're just like, we're on an elephant kissing. You have to
So
see
it's
it.
so weird.
It's so weird.
It's so good though. Like the weirdest good that you can possibly imagine is so good.
And then in that pulp, action sort of way, Harrison Ford and Sean Connery capture that I'm the son trying to get out of the shadow of the father. And I'm gonna say it. Think of Han Solo and Kylo Ren. Did you see the new Star Wars,
Yeah.
Joey?
Oh yeah.
Okay, think about that. Sean Connery and Harrison Ford do it better. Not just a little bit, like 10 times better. And it's freaking awesome.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's the best one.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's the best one.
Yeah. High five, Corey. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna make our way back into games. We got some Xbox stuff to talk about before we finish up with Nintendo. First off, Scalebound has been delayed until 2017.
Who saw that coming?
I'm not surprised.
Me neither.
But good news for Xbox. Every title in their fall lineup, including Gears of War Ultimate Edition, Forza Motorsport 6, Halo 5 Guardians, and Rise of the Tomb Raider, have all surpassed the 1 million sold mark, which I'm surprised. I'm happy for all those games, except that's a little low for Halo.
You know what that tells me? Because Microsoft hasn't really disclosed the numbers. They've sold 1 million Xbox Ones. All of them have bought like 4 or 5 games.
Dude, Halo 5. Gosh, that was so. I'm sorry, that game is bad. Like
Do you think
it plays
bad?
well. It plays well. Don't get me wrong. It plays well. It feels like Halo, faster, really fast-paced Halo. It's got a lot of new good mechanics that could probably be fleshed out in Halo 6. Multiplayer's really good. I like Warzone. It's an interesting multiplayer mode that probably needs a few tweaks. That story is bad. I'm sorry. It's bad. I played through it twice just to make sure I didn't miss anything. It's like it's so bad. I'm sorry. I love Halo and I'm one of the defenders of Halo 4. I thought Halo 4 was amazing. I loved Halo 4. But the fact that they just took a really wrong right turn with Halo 5, and I'm really disappointed.
A wrong right turn?
I don't-
A wrong left turn?
No, because I'm left-handed. Left is right. Left is always right, Matt.
Okay.
But
I don't.
Shh. Just keep going. But
Well, okay. Now I'm going to ask you the same question I asked my co-host Brian Spagnoli because he's a Halo super fan. Now, do you think this is a Halo that's just not done by Bungie?
no, because it still feels
Okay.
like Halo, and I really loved Halo 4. It's probably my favorite Halo. Like, seriously, and it's not made by Bungie. So,
Okay.
and don't get me wrong, I love the the Bungie trilogy, and ODST was my favorite until this
It
one.
is the best. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I've not played Halo 4, and I don't care. ODST is the best.
Yeah.
It's the Rashomon of video games.
It's awesome.
Rashomon.
It's awesome. But
it all comes back to Star Wars because he ripped off Akira Kurosawa.
but Halo 5, that I don't care about Locke. I've said that 1,000 times on the old show and this show. I don't care about Agent Locke. He's not interesting. He's so generic and so awful. And you play through with him for 12 out of the 15 missions. I'm like, I don't care.
Is it now? I'm just gonna play devil's advocate again. Is it that he's not written well?
He has no personality. He's a generic space marine that says, "Bro, we gotta get the mission done. Let's go do it." Bro. And I'm just like, I don't care.
So he's a Gears of War guy.
No, they have more personality than Locke.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Then
like,
I have to yield.
Even Marcus Phoenix from Gears, who has zero personality. Like Cole has personality. Barrett has personality. Dom is whatever. He's mopey, but he still has personality. Marcus has no personality.
He's literally just there.
And he has more personality than Agent Locke. And I like the banter between him and Nathan Fillion's character. That's fun, and his character is obviously in there for comic relief, which he had some good moments. But all in all, I don't care about Fireteam Osiris at all. I just don't. And I wanted to play as Blue Team, which is Master Chief's team, for those who don't know. And, Linda and Kelly and all those characters are really interesting. If you read the fall.
Which team are Tex and Donut on?
Red Team.
Oh, okay.
Ha! I don't know. It's off the top of my head.
Versus blue. Red versus blue makes me laugh.
Man, what a good show. We need to start a show like that, Joey. Red versus
No, that's too much effort.
I'm gonna stop.
Way too much effort. That takes so long to do what they do. It's
you
ridiculous.
have no idea. You have no idea.
All the stuff they have to even just the setup for some of the scenes they do has to take days. Literally. I am thoroughly impressed with everything they do in that show, and I will always go back and watch it whenever I can, but it's just I don't know how they had the patience to do that.
I don't know how those people are still sane after doing the first season, because the first season is the only thing I really paid attention to, and I loved every minute of it. When I saw it on Netflix, I'm like, oh, we're watching this. My soon-to-be ex-wife, she watched it with me, and I think that's why we're getting divorced. but we both laughed because it was that right mix of stoner comedy that was a good thing. Anyway, back to him.
I don't know, man. It had some really interesting ideas. I'm playing a numbered Halo game to play as Master Chief. That's the thing to me. If you wanted to give Locke his own game, sure, I'll play it. It would be more interesting than trying to shove it into a Master Chief storyline. And the big twist towards 2/3 of the way through the game, I don't know how many. I mean, it didn't sell well, so I'm assuming a lot of people got it for Christmas maybe or something. But there's a big twist towards the end that was really confusing, especially with the way Halo 4 ended. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. And I hope it's setting up something bigger for Halo 6. But we have 2 questions. Does it surprise you that Halo only sold just over 1 million units? That's from CodFanFF on Twitter. And Samantha Harper asks, it seems Tomb Raider did better than originally thought. What are your personal thoughts on the game? I already talked my piece on Tomb Raider earlier, so I hope that answered your question. But it's my personal game of the year there. But I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that Microsoft's biggest exclusive only sold 1 million units in 2 months it's been out.
Yeah.
You're talking about Halo when you say that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say that is surprising, but I don't know if maybe it is because that it just seemed that everyone was so upset with it from the get-go. Like, I mean, before it even came out, there was people like talking about how you're not even playing as Master Chief, so it was like no one really like wanted to. It seemed like it was like before anyone even decided to buy the game, it was already kind of like in trouble. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just keep in mind that December numbers aren't reported until January.
Yeah.
Like, and the only reason I care about this is because I have a bet with a co-host, Brian Spagnoli. He and I are betting that he thinks Star Wars Battlefront is going to be one of the top 3 selling games of the year. I don't.
I do. I bet
If he wins, I owe him a $20 PSN card. But whatever. I think that Halo is one of those things that they're not looking for the quick sell, despite how much Microsoft needs a quick sell at this point. Because anytime anybody gets an Xbox One, Xbox any
They buy a
console,
Halo game.
they buy a Halo game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll admit, Halo brought me back to video games in a time where I was kind of done.
Yeah.
And
I know my
playing Halo 2 with my roommate at that time were some of the most fun things I've ever done in video games. Is Halo 2 one of my favorite games of all time? No. Like, it is for many, but Halo is that franchise that it's just synonymous with the Xbox brand. So anytime anybody picks up an Xbox console, they want to say, okay, what Halo can I play?
Yeah.
It's as synonymous with Xbox as Mario is with Nintendo.
Yeah.
And Sony doesn't even have that. People want to talk about Uncharted? Nah, not everybody plays Uncharted. I'll say it right here. But Master Chief is probably Microsoft's Mario.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Yeah. I agree.
No, it definitely is.
Cheers.
That's I know my brother originally got an Xbox One because of the Master Chief collection.
And that's why I got my Xbox One.
Yeah, that's the reason he wanted an Xbox, and that's why he still has one. I mean, he bought, or I think he got Halo 5. I don't know.
And I'll tell you, the minute I buy an Xbox One, because I keep buying vinyl. I need to stop that. But the minute I get an Xbox One, guess what I'm going to buy? Master Chief Collection. Because it's the Master Chief Collection. You have to buy it.
Yeah. I bought it. And then like I got ODST for free. I was like,
Word?
Okay. because they had that huge issue when it launched that it wasn't working online correctly for a long time.
It was broken
and
for
if you
a long
played,
time.
If you played before a certain date, you got ODST for free. I was like, okay. And like, even if you want to buy ODST now, it's only $5. So,
more than worth it.
Yeah.
More than worth. It's the best Halo game. The
only weird thing about ODST is it doesn't come up on the campaign screen. You have to go to Halo 3 missions, and it's like after the Halo 3 like final mission, there's the ODST game, which you have to go through there and play it. But I don't know. I guess it was too hard to add it to the interface. It might have screwed up the game even more.
I don't know how programming games works. I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend. They do what they do.
Joey can pretend. Joey's smart.
I could pretend. You want me to pretend?
Please pretend.
Do you really want me to go into this right now?
Yeah, pretend. Go.
Take us on a journey through the mind
it's just
of Joey P.
It all depends on how they originally had it set up, because I mean, if they built the whole entire main menu in a specific way that they can only fit so many options there, then there's the only way they'd be able to completely add in another option like that is if they completely redid that whole entire main menu. I bet they didn't want to go back and have to redo something that they already had done, and they decided they could just go into one of these other sub-menus that they probably used the same format from the main menu. They find one that didn't have as many options maybe in it and kind of use it that way. But I don't know. It's tough to say without actually looking at what they did or how they did it, but I just know that certain frameworks only allow you to do certain things in certain specific situations, so it depends on exactly how they set it up.
Yeah.
Play ODST. Find a way. Like Jeff Goldblum said in Jurassic Park, life will find a way. ODST rules.
All right, moving on to our final story. Nintendo's new president, Tatsumi Kimishima, says that NX is a new experience that is very different from Wii U and 3DS. He also states in the same interview that the system is in, quote, steady development, meaning that the NX may not be released in 2016 as previously believed.
Thank God.
Mohammed asks, Nintendo not releasing NX in 2016 is, in my opinion, a giant mistake. Not even Zelda will move Wii U's at this point. Thoughts? I'm of two minds because A, Zelda, I want to play it on Wii U. I think that game was built for Wii U. I think the tablet has a lot to do with that new Zelda game. I think that the whole game revolves around that stupid gamepad. That said,
It's not stupid. You slow your roll.
dude, it's like
No.
I've been playing a lot of games with the Pro
Corey.
Controller lately, and like even when I'm playing Splatoon, it's like so clunky, man. It is so big. Like if they redesign the gamepad like this to the size of a Vita, I would be so happy. Like I love the idea of the screen on the controller, off TV play. That's what I use it most for. I love the concept of the Wii U. I love the Wii U as a system. I think it has amazing games. And I will say that until NX comes out. And then I'll say that about the NX, even if it sucks.
I'm right there with you.
Even if it sucks. Even if it sucks. That said, I dropped the gamepad on the floor the other day and I thought I broke it. And it fell like 2 inches because it's just this big hunk of plastic and it scares me to move it. And like, I need it to be smaller. Give me a smaller gamepad like the Vita and I'll be like, okay, sweet. But that said,
I've got 3 words for you. Super Mario Maker.
Yes, I didn't say the
argument
concept,
over.
The concept of the gamepad is amazing. I love the idea. Yeah. The gamepad itself is crap. Piece of crap.
Oh, okay.
Piece of crap. The fact that I can play.
I think it's because they had to make something that was affordable. I mean,
It's not affordable. It's almost the same price as the PS4 still.
The gamepad itself?
No, the Wii U.
I'm saying because
what's a Wii U pricing right now? Isn't it?
I think it's like $299.
Okay, well, you getting a system.
Yeah, that's $100 less because I'm pretty sure
with the
it's
gamepad.
50.
I mean, how much is a PS Vita?
I think it's like what 170 at this point.
So if you want to play a PS
platform.
Vita with your PlayStation 4, you have to buy a PS4 and a PS Vita. Those are both, expensive items like that. They're trying.
Yeah, but they're releasing an app for free for tablets and Mac and PC for remote play this year.
Okay, well, but that's now. I mean, but I'm just saying, before when the Wii U was released, like for them to include the gamepad with the system like that and make it still affordable for people, they had to make a product that maybe wasn't as compact or as high quality as what everyone would want. I mean, but it still works.
It does work. It's
understandable that they couldn't maybe use like all the best high-end parts and everything to make this thing.
Here's my thing.
Is it
when it
weird
came out,
that Joey just kind of shut you down?
No, when it came out, yes, 3 years ago, I would have totally agreed with you. It's been 3 years, and the technology in that gamepad can be made for about $12.
Okay, but
like that, it doesn't have multi-touch. It doesn't. I don't know. It's just weird, and it's big, and it feels weird, and I don't like it. Okay, I don't care what your argument is. It's probably right. I just don't.
I don't like it, man. I don't like it.
Hold on. Here.
Uh-oh.
He's gonna pull it up.
Oh, he's pulling it out. He's pulling it out. We're gonna get schooled, Joey. Joey, you come at him hard.
What?
I didn't say anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Here. Look at the size of this thing.
Okay.
Looks small.
It is.
That's not a Wii U gamepad. What are you doing?
This is the Vita. This is the Vita.
Who cares about the Vita?
Look at the gamepad. Look how large it is. Have you tried to play Splatoon with this thing?
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
Ugh.
No. Okay, Corey, I'm gonna say this right now. Comparing the Wii U gamepad to the PS Vita is a dumb idea.
I'm not comparing.
I love you, man. I do.
I'm not comparing it. I just said I wish it was the same size as the
That's
Vita.
what you just did. You had the.
I said, look at the size.
You're like, oh,
I said, look at the size. Look at the size. Look at the size. I just want a smaller one.
I mean,
that's all I want. That's all I want.
I mean, as a guy with like bigger hands, I think you want something bigger to actually hold on to. Like,
it still feels big though. Like
when I would hold like my
Joey,
phone or something, I always feel like it's...
Joey,
yeah.
I think we just have to admit that Corey has real small hands. Oh yeah, you could put it close to the camera and make it look big, but because I can do that too. Look, oh my hands are huge. Oh my god! But here, like,
I mean, my hands even feel big on like a PlayStation controller sometimes. Like,
word.
It's like
that's exactly how I feel.
I think the PlayStation 4 controllers.
I'm like a freaking gorilla holding this thing, and my hands aren't even that big.
Right. So it's like I don't necessarily need something tiny to like. I mean, I understand to get something more compact because there is a lot of like empty black plastic space around it, so that's like unnecessary and whatnot. But I don't necessarily know if we need something that like is tiny. I don't know. Like I don't think I could play a Vita. I think it'd be small for me. Like I had a PSP and that was even small for me. Like
it's the same. It's the same size as a PSP.
That's like the original PSPs, or like is
the
same one?
Yeah, I think
the original.
Okay. I'm not gonna say the Vita is a bad thing because it's not. The Vita is awesome.
Oh, I have a lot of complaints about the Vita too, but I'm not gonna go on that right now.
You shut your mouth, dear.
Where are my back triggers? Where are those triggers?
Called a touchpad, sucker.
Well, when I'm trying to play Destiny on the toilet, I need triggers.
How are you gonna play Destiny on the crapper? Really?
I have. I have.
I can't continue. I can't. I don't even know what to do. Destiny on the.
You know how hard it is to fight the Cabal brothers while you're taking a crap.
No, I don't because I've never done that.
Well, we could make the argument that the people who made Destiny took crap on the PlayStation, but or at least they took a crap while they were trying to write a story.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that because Destiny's gameplay is damn near flawless.
Oh my gosh, so good.
But I have, as someone who loves the Vita, I have my beef with it too. Because the joysticks just ain't what they should be to me.
I did trade my original Vita in and got the slim one, and I do have to say the sticks are way better.
The sticks are better on the slim.
Yeah.
I still have the OG Vita with the OLED.
And that screen is a lot nicer. And like
someone's gonna have to pry that for my cold dead hands because that's the only way I'm ever gonna play Spelunky.
Yeah, but how do we get on Vita? We're talking about Zelda, and now we're on Vita.
Well, no. Okay. Here's how we got there. We started talking about how you started lodging complaints about the Wii U. Logically in a way, but illogically in a way. Look, I'm gonna say this now.
It's my greediness because I love Nintendo so much. I just want them to make something for me. I want them to make something for me, just me. I don't care about anybody else.
That's true. Here's the thing. Everybody hates the Wii U.
I don't.
That's fact. Is that right?
I love the Wii U.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying everybody in general hates the Wii U. We can agree as three individuals that that's the case, right?
Most of them.
Okay. Now Corey and I don't. Joey, do you have a Wii U?
No.
Okay. So Joey hates the Wii U. Corey and I both own Wii U's. Play them relatively regularly. I mean, I can't stop playing Mario Maker.
Mario Maker is amazing.
Mario Maker is so good.
You need to enter some levels in for our Mario Maker challenge so I can record them.
I've got one for you.
Yes. Okay, send it to me. Send it to me
I've got.
after the show.
Okay, I'm literally.
Did you see me play Todd's son's level?
Yeah, because
My
we
God.
talked about that on the new cast.
Oh, yeah.
Todd's son is scary.
Oh my gosh.
He's 9 years old. He scares me. I'm 36. The 9-year-old. Oh man, Todd's son is sadistic. Todd, love you. Your son's crazy. And I just remember we were talking on the new cast one day, and Todd's son is in the background. No, I'm not going to make something fun. I'm going to make it difficult. The monster is self-aware. And I played his level too. And Corey, I'm glad I don't have a way to capture it, because your embarrassment as you were trying to get through it was enough.
Yeah.
But the fact that you ended up getting through it, I just remember how happy you sounded when you got through it.
I was so happy.
Oh, it was one of my favorite things of 2015.
He
One
made
of my
me hate Super Mario so much.
We've been playing this. I've been playing. It's weird. I've been playing this game for damn near 30. I've been playing games for damn near 30 years now. I'm 36. I got my first NES, or not. I got my NES because it worked for 20 years. I got my NES on my 7th birthday. So it's been almost 30 years. And Todd's son almost put me off of Mario. Like, nah, kind of done. But yeah, Mario Maker is a beautiful thing. The Wii U is better than anybody's going to give it credit for.
Yeah.
And that's just because Nintendo don't care about everybody else. They are in a position to not care about everyone else. Remember when Radiohead dropped that album In Rainbows and said, hey, pay what you want? That's kind of where Nintendo is with their career. They're just like, whatever, we're going to do this. We don't need third-party support. Now, do they need third-party support to conquer the world? Yes. That's not an argument.
The whole thing is Nintendo, people are trying to make Nintendo out to be competing with PlayStation and Xbox, and I don't really think they're trying to at all.
Amen, brother.
I don't like, they're just not trying to at all. I think like as far as like a business standpoint, 12 million units of Wii U could be great for them. Like that could be great for them,
Yeah.
Whereas, obviously PlayStation has sold 36 million units now, but like, Nintendo could be happy with 12 million. Now, are they? Probably not, because the Wii sold 112 million units.
Well, but the Wii is the anomaly.
I know, but this is
Nintendo's console history.
Yeah, I'm just saying that this is like the next thing. Are they happy? I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you if Nintendo's happy with the Wii U or not. That said, it's besides Destiny on PlayStation 4, the Wii U this generation has been my most played console. It just has. Splatoon, Mario Maker, Mario Kart, Mario 3D
Virtual console game.
Pikmin 3, Virtual Console, the indie games.
Pikmin 3 is so great. Oh, Pikmin 3 is great.
The indie games on there, Shovel Knight is the best. Shovel Knight might be probably the top 5 games on the console.
I played Shovel Knight on my Vita. It's better on the Wii U. Just saying.
Yeah, and I played on 3DS and Wii U. I bought both copies, and I'm about to go buy a physical copy of it because I love that game so much.
Game's great.
I don't. If they want to release NX in the middle of a console cycle in 2017, go right ahead. I'm ready for this year. I mean, look at their lineup for this year for Wii U: Star Fox, Fire Emblem, Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. They've got 2 Zelda games this year. Twilight Princess HD is coming out in April, which, in unpopular opinion, is my favorite Zelda game.
What?
Yeah, shut up, Matt. I don't want to hear it.
Okay. All right. Fine. I'll let you have this. It's your show. But if you ever come on my show, I'm bringing you to task, Corey. Just saying. You will answer for your crimes.
I mean, I think, and then we've got stuff that they haven't announced yet. So, on top of that, you've got the Smash DLC, which is huge right now, especially with Cloud and Bayonetta coming. Yeah. Or I guess they're already out. I don't know. I haven't kept up on Smash.
So Cloud is, Bayonetta isn't yet.
Yeah.
But
So,
who has?
but
Apparently.
I think Nintendo has enough to keep Wii U going for another year, especially if Zelda's going to be their big fall title, especially if they have something else that they haven't announced yet. I think that their spring is really solid with Star Fox, Zelda, and then their summer or fall moving in with Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem and Zelda. I think Wii U's got it. I'm sorry. I think they've got enough to finish out 2016 and release NX in 2017.
I'm going to ask a dumb question. Do we know when they announced Super Mario Maker off the top of our head? Because I know it wasn't E3 in 2015.
I want to say
Was
it was
it?
a direct at the end of 2014.
It was all I know. Well, I remember it being the part of a conference.
Was it
And this might just be just because I watched one of the
Gamescom
Treehouse.
maybe?
Might have been, but the point is, Nintendo is operating at their own pace.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the fact that we look at Sony and Microsoft, that they have to bring something to PAX East, E3, Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show. Microsoft doesn't have its own thing yet, but Sony has PSX. Now that's probably going to be an every winter thing. The fact that we're expecting them to bring the pain, as Method Man put it, that also applies a lot of pressure to both of those companies. Whereas Nintendo's like, we got a treehouse. We'll do what we want.
Yeah.
Any company from a business standpoint admires Nintendo's position because, frankly, they don't need to please the gaming public at large because they have people like Corey, myself. I'm sorry, Joey. We know you hate Nintendo. It's fine.
I have a 3DS. I play that.
Shh. Don't.
Everybody has a 3DS.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody has a 3DS. Great. Everybody
I'm
uses
sorry.
Tide to wash their laundry. What do you want?
I'm sorry.
But the fact that Nintendo can operate at the beat to their own drum, that's a beautiful position to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And if the new president, Tatsumi Kimishima, sorry, I butchered that, can say, okay, now we are going to drop the hammer and actually try and compete with PS4 and Xbox One, I'm interested to see how they do it.
Yeah.
It was clear that, may he rest in peace, Satoru Iwata, didn't feel that was necessary. And frankly, everything came up Nintendo because Wii Sports created the greatest selling console of all time.
Yeah.
And, we've got Super Mario Maker, Bayonetta 2. Super Mario 3D World is a damn brilliant game. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is better than anybody will ever know. Yoshi's Woolly World, I don't care what the Giant Bomb people said about it being just another Kirby's Epic Yarn. No, that game is Kirby's Epic Yarn on steroids with its testicles dropped, and actually it can be difficult. And then Mario Kart 8 is
It's the best Mario Kart they've released. I will say that.
I mean, I'm partial because I'm old. I'm partial to like earlier Mario Karts, but Mario Kart 8's real fun.
It's better than Double Dash.
Real.
Yeah.
You shut
Double
your
Dash,
mouth,
Double
Joey.
Dash, Double Dash was my favorite until this one.
Double Dash was awesome.
Can I ask you a question? Examine your life right now.
Okay.
Not you, Joey.
Oh, okay.
Corey.
Oh boy.
Examine your life right now. How does it feel to know that everything you think is wrong? Double Dash was awful.
Double Dash was awesome.
Yeah. What was wrong with Double Dash?
What's wrong with you, old man?
Double Dash sucked.
That game was awesome.
It sucked in stereo.
Oh.
It sucked almost as much as Mario Sunshine is underappreciated.
I don't understand.
It sucked almost as much as people hated Wind Waker when it was announced. I'm going to say that right now. Now, that said, doesn't mean Double Dash is a bad game.
7.9 IGN.
Exactly. See, I'm glad Corey pays attention. But Nintendo is in a weird space that they're not sure how to work in because there's nobody. They don't have any reason to keep check, and the fact that Tatsumi Kimishima wants to say, "Hey, let's go after this." I want to see what happens. Do I think third party support will come? I don't know. I'm not sure I care either because frankly, I've got Sony and Microsoft to play all my Ubisoft games on.
Nobody buys Nintendo to play third party. They buy Nintendo to play Nintendo. Like, that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing.
I'm glad it was someone other than me that said it.
People people are saying, well, look at Wii U. They only sold like 11 million units so far. That's obviously not true. Yeah, it is. Look at the attach rate. 5, 6, 7 million games. Mario Kart has the highest attach rate of any game Nintendo's ever put out. Like,
Word?
Like, I'm just saying, look at their attach rates and tell me people aren't buying Nintendo games for Nintendo platforms. Like, they're selling more games with less hardware out there than the other two consoles. Look, Master Chief Collection is probably the closest thing to anything Nintendo's put out, and they've only sold about 2, 3, maybe almost 3 million units. I mean, the attach rate for Nintendo is amazing.
Quit that FPS and get with the Mario Maker, son.
I mean, oh my gosh, Mario Maker. I just want to play. I want to play Mario Maker really bad right now.
It's so good. It's so good.
So
it's
good.
So good.
So good. Joey, get a Wii U. Play Mario Maker.
Yeah. Joey.
I don't have the money for that right now.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
You with the Wii U, me with the Xbox One. I'd rather buy records. No.
All right. Well, new releases this week. There's only one really major one. It's Amplitude. I didn't play Amplitude or Frequency.
Amplitude's good.
But Matt, was Amplitude good?
Spoiler alert, Amplitude's good. Like, honestly, we wouldn't have games like... I remember on my show, we talked about Parappa the Rapper recently.
Yeah, I listened to that episode. I was like, are they talking about Parappa the Rapper?
It was pretty bonkers. But, you know, you could make the argument that Parappa the Rapper produced games like Amplitude. And then Amplitude produced games like Rock Band. And Rock Band took a console generation by storm. Honestly, even myself, I was a music critic for 5 years, and I looked at Rock Band and I'm like, pfft. But then I actually played it, and I'm like, hell yeah, I want to rock out. I don't care what I'm rocking out to. And to be honest, one of my favorite things ever is actually nailing AC/DC's Let There Be Rock. I think it was on Rock Band 3. It was either 2 or 3. But nailing that, I didn't nail it on Expert because I suck at Rock Band. But playing it on like medium and hard, if I could nail that with the solos and all the freeform stuff, it was such a great feeling. I mean, my friend Abe and I, we would, anytime we got together and decided we're going to play Rock Band for a while, we ended our night with AC/DC's Let There Be Rock. A song I really don't care too much for. But that game was fun. I can't wait to get Xbox One so I can play Rock Band 4. I don't care about the bad reviews. All my DLC's there. And I'll find a way to play it. And Amplitude started that. Amplitude on I think it was PS2?
PS2.
Yeah,
Amplitude on PS2 was a weird, wild thing. And it reminds me of the weird, wild things that Sony has done. I wish like hell we'd get a Vib ribbon for PS4 where you could just put a CD in and generate levels to whatever CD you put in. You know, we were talking about Metal Gear Solid earlier. Metal Gear Solid was a weird thing where a boss would mess with your save files. You know, nobody tries that, and it's harkening back to a time where Sony just said, we're going to try and mess with players in whatever way possible. But we will find a way to keep them playing. Like anytime you could call out a company for trolling its consumers, it seems like Sony at that time never wanted to make their consumers feel bad about themselves for being trolled. I mean, that's one of the reasons why, and I know that DNA has its own thing, and I love and respect everybody in this community. But with my community, I think that's kind of what we do. We troll each other to the point where, hey, we don't want you to feel bad. We just want to make you laugh. And Sony used to do that with games. And the fact that Amplitude influenced a generation of plastic instruments is a beautiful thing. Amplitude's good.
I was waiting for that.
It's really good. And I can't wait to play it. I think it's downloaded on my console right now. Why am I still here? But yeah, Amplitude's so good. So good.
Speaking
You should play Amplitude.
Speaking of new ways to play, topic of the show. We've been going on a really long time, but topic of the show.
6 hours.
That's true. I did. VR is coming in hot. This year, we're getting PlayStation VR, Oculus, Vive. Oh, there's so many VR things coming out, I don't even remember. Are we excited for VR?
Okay.
Are we excited for VR?
I'm not. I mean, it's a nice way. I think it'd be fun, but it's not something that I'm gonna want to do every time I sit down to play a video game. Like it's something that I would enjoy doing for maybe a couple hours every week or so. Like it just seems like too much of a hassle to actually like. I don't know. To me it just sounds more effort than what it's going to end up being worth, because it's going to just cause more issues with games, and it's going to be almost like the whole making movies 3D kind of thing, where they purposely add in these special things just so they can add the 3D effect to them. I feel like it'll be that same kind of thing. They're going to add just these special little things to get that kind of VR sensation from the consumer, so it's going to not feel as much as a genuine game as what some of the other games should be. I mean, I know some are probably going to do the VR thing very well, and they won't have that issue. But it's just, to me, it's not something that I'm going to go out and buy on day one at all.
I'm going to dovetail on what Joey just said. Because I'm such a film nerd, I just think of an Alfred Hitchcock movie called Dial M for Murder. This movie came out in the midst of the original 3D movie craze, where, it was just like, hey, we're just going to throw stuff at the audience and have them go, oh my God! But instead of using 3D that way, he would place it in the environment. And I think 3D films now sort of learn from what he did. VR is at this point where, Joey, can I ask how old you are? Because I just don't know. I know Corey's like 5 years younger than I am.
24.
Okay. Wow. All right. So you don't know either. I remember VR in the 90s and how terrible it was.
Hey, I remember. I went to Disney World. I remember them placing them stupid VR headsets on my face at Epcot.
The lag ride in Disney Quest.
Okay. Yeah. I remember going to play VR in arcades. Yeah, you got nothing. You got nothing, Dierig. Nothing.
You mean VR, those things you pull down and it's like you
exactly. Yeah, because you're standing. You basically there's an attendant at whatever arcade you're in, and there's this little like circular pod that's probably 1 to 3 feet in diameter. He has a chain link on it so you don't walk off it, because hey, you're gonna hurt yourself. And you have this homunculus thing on your head that the minute it's placed on, you're like, oh man, I can feel everybody else's germs because they didn't clean anything in the 90s. They don't know. And then you're just looking around going, oh, okay. And everything is a shooter because first-person shooters had just come into their own with games like Doom and Quake and Wolfenstein. This is pre Half-Life, by the way. if we really want to talk about timeline, and the first-person perspective is where you're firing, and you're holding a plastic gun. But it's useless. The trigger on it is active, but you're not. If you pull it at the rhythm of how you want to fire, it doesn't work because the game is firing itself. All you have to do is look towards the target, and you're being propelled forward. It's very much like a rail shooter, and you're looking up, and these pixelated messes are just coming at you. And it was awful. I told myself as I was in my teenage years that was really cool. And I'm going to curse on your show again. It was bullshit. Now, what I've heard about Oculus and the Morpheus and Valve's Vive thing, the way that the press are talking about it, that's what has me peaked. Do I have a PC that could do an Oculus? No. Depends on the Morpheus's price point. I might jump in. On my show, Imran did a nice piece on VR, and it kind of had me interested because Eve Valkyrie. If let's pretend the three of us could play Eve Valkyrie together.
That game is the one that has me interested.
And it's like we're bringing it back to Star Wars. It's like we're piloting an X-Wing. Corey could be like, hey, Red 5 standing by. Joey could be like, hey, Red 1 standing by. And I'll be like, hey, I'm Shaniqua. Whatever.
I'm falling asleep.
I'm going to fall asleep. I'm going to fall asleep flying a spaceship. And it'll be great. Now, if that were to happen, I would be so happy. Not because I clearly would let our team down, but because the possibility for that to happen. I think that for the first few years, VRs in video games, it's going to be a weird, probably dumb thing. And I don't mean dumb as pejorative, but just dumb as like, hey, that happened. Like predict how we talk about Rocket League and how dumb that game really is, but it's so much fun. What if it's dumb but without the fun?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm aiming at. If VR can even come close to making that interesting, I'm in.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. I don't know where I'm going to fall at the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to watch it because it's a new thing.
Yeah,
we have to be interested in new things.
There's experiences that have me interested, and if I'm going to jump in at all, it's going to be PlayStation VR because I don't have a PC built for Oculus. I don't really care about the stupid Samsung place your phone in these cardboard boxes bullshit.
Not all of us can be Lee Navarro either. Am I right?
Gosh, did you see him taking apart his PC today? He posted in the Phoenix Overdrive Nation.
I started watching it, then I got a headache, and I'm like, I can't watch this anymore.
I know. I'm just like, I don't understand what's happening. It looks like there's a lot going on in there. And he's like, oh, my motherboard's broken. Sorry, Lee. I don't understand any of that. I have a hard enough
time putting my record shelves for my Kia together.
I'm like, sorry, Lee. I love you. I love Nerd Overdrive. Great show. Don't understand any of the PC building stuff you're going on over there. Sorry.
Smart.
Joey does. I do not.
Yeah, but Joey's wearing a funny hat, so we can't take him seriously.
Oh, my gosh.
Love you, Joey.
I don't think anyone takes me serious ever.
Nah, Joey, you're just so jolly. This is what I say to Joey every time he walks in the door. Joey, I'm so glad you're here. And he's always like, why? I'm like, because you're just so damn jolly all the time.
Joey, you and I are basically brothers now because we've raped it while I was asleep.
There are games that have me interested. Riggs is one for
What's that?
PlayStation VR. It's like this big mech game.
Is that Rocket League thing they were trying to put to sort of pawn as esports?
No, I don't know if it's Rocket League exactly, but like
No, but it's like I'll be
yeah,
honest.
yeah,
It's that one that they were saying, "Oh, well, you carry this around, and we're going to create an esport."
yeah. They did say they were going to try to make it an esport, which
First
that
off,
right there is a red flag. Where if you're going to try to design your game around an esport, it's not going to become an esport. Sorry,
testify.
sorry. That's like a real thing. But that game, like the way it looks and looks like it feels, I haven't tried any of these VR things. It looks interesting. I like mech games, which is why I'm about to pour like 1,000 hours into Xenoblade when I finally get it, because Amazon had it on back order and it's finally coming this week, and I'm super excited. But that said, what?
Hey, Corey, if I could get up and grab my copy of Xenoblade Chronicles X, I'd show it to you.
I will drive to Philadelphia and kick you in the balls.
Sweet. Can we hang out and play Xenoblade after?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'll bring Joey and we can all play Rocket League.
Yeah! Hockey, son! We got 3 of us. We can do this. Okay.
But
sorry.
Eve Valkyrie looks amazing. And the VR version of Rez sounds amazing. Did you guys play Rez?
Rez was so good.
Oh my gosh, Joey, you're missing out. It was so good.
I miss out on a lot of things apparently.
You still have
That's Joey,
your
Joey,
360,
Joey.
right?
Yeah, hang on.
It's like $10 on 360. You should
See,
download it.
the thing about games like Rez is when they were coming out, and I don't know what sort of genetic makeup I have that attracted me to weird things like that, because it didn't seem like everybody in my circle of friends was really into that when it came out. And, granted, the gaming community now looks upon Rez as like, wow, it's this thing. It's this well-regarded thing. But when that came out, nobody cared. They were like, I'd rather play Crash. I'd rather play Ratchet.
Yeah.
I'd rather play Sly. I'd rather play Mario 64. But, Rez was this weird, wild, new thing. And VR Rez, I'm with you, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
I'd play it.
Yeah. I didn't even play Rez until, I didn't even know about Rez until it came out on Xbox 360. And I was like, where did this game come from? This is amazing.
Exactly.
And my Brian's brother actually had it for PS2. He's like, oh, I've had this game forever. I'm like, what? And then I go to find out it came out on Dreamcast first. I'm like, what?
That's where I first played it.
And I'm like, no, I didn't.
That's how old I am. That's
why didn't anybody tell me about this?
I played on Dreamcast.
I'm like, I'm sitting here playing like Blue Stinger and freaking Sonic Adventure, and nobody's telling me about Rez, which is this most amazing game ever. Could have been playing it for like 8 years by now.
In House Party 2, you feel real stupid, don't you?
No comment. But like those are the things that have me interested in VR. But how much is this going to cost? The PlayStation VR comes with its own processing box. Like, how much does that factor into how much is it going to cost? Like, what are the other games that are coming after that? Like the initial launch games, they're going to be good at best. What are the killer apps that are coming after that? Am I going to get, Titanfall 2 in PlayStation VR? Am I going to get a 3D platformer? Is Knack 2 going to have PlayStation VR, which would be freaking amazing? I don't care what anybody says. Knack was awesome. But I want to know what's coming after. I want to know what's coming after that. Like, that's what's going to keep VR going, is the experiences after the initial, after the initial batch of games that comes out when it launches. Other than that, like, I don't know if VR is going to have a lasting thing. Like I still think it's going to be this fad like 3D TVs were and motion controls were, and I don't know if it's going to be anything more than that. I honestly don't. Which, don't get me wrong, I love Wii Sports. I bought Wii Sports Club for Wii U. Like, I love it that much that I went out and paid $60 for the same game that came free with the Wii. But
because you know what's fun.
yeah, but and like I love that game, but like I don't really care for motion controls all that much, and I never got into 3D. Like I just never did. I played Uncharted 3 in 3D for about 30 minutes. I'm like, nope, can't do it. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about VR. It has me intrigued. I want to try it out before I buy it. I hope there's some way like normal people like us can try it out. Joey, I know you're going to PAX, and I'm really jealous.
PAX?
Yeah.
I'm really jealous. Which I need to try to get stuff for us to go to PAX, but
I hate you, Joey.
so maybe you can report on that when you come back.
We'll see if I can find a place to actually try it out. I mean, I'm
Better.
sure
What do
they'll
you
have
think?
it, but I don't
I
know if
mean-
I'll have to wait in line forever and ever and ever.
What do you think, Joey? I feel like Corey and I have been talking.
I mean,
What do you-
it's like I said before. It's something that I'll keep my eye on. I'll wait and see, and if it ends up being something that ends up like being awesome and it's going to be, you know, revolutionizing the way that we play games, then definitely I'm going to have to get into it. But it's just like, as of right now, it seems there's something that they're just going to try to add for that extra like layer factor on the games and whatnot. So it's tough to say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
See, I actually think the VR games are going to come in hot and heavy and most likely disappear for a while. And then eventually someone will come up with a formula that works. I've said on, I think I've said this on my show, or at least I've said it in talks with my co-hosts, that I think the games like Everybody's Gone to the Rapture and Gone Home and Dear Esther, even though I've not technically played it, but I played Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. I think those are the next evolution in the point and click adventure games. I think to a point that these tech demos we've seen from VR, especially like Patrick Klepek from Giant Bomb was really good at reporting on scary things that came from VR, like being put in the cage to go down into where sharks are or whatever. Or there was a game called The Kraken that he was really high on. All of those are basically tech demos. Now, if we can find a way to bridge tech demo and consumer interaction in a way that's, I don't want to say meaningful, like it has to be, you know, weighty and heavy. I want to say meaningful in the way that it has to be fun.
Yeah.
Because if you look at how VR has been presented to us from E3 on, we've seen trailers for what look like third-person games. Now, in VR, are we looking from that character or avatar's point of view, or are we looking at third person the entire time? At which point we're like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Because Corey, you were talking about Tomb Raider and Uncharted. We could play a third-person action game right now on whatever systems we have.
Yeah.
But do we have the ability to take control of where they're looking and say, oh, I'm Nathan Drake. These guys over here are coming at me to kill me, but I feel like looking over here. I'm in virtual reality and I can do this because I have goggles on my head and I'm in a living room. Now, that's a dumb idea and it made you guys laugh. but at the same time, that's what VR is.
Yeah.
Now, the minute a game developer or publisher finds a way to make that interesting, that's when VR says, I'm here to stay.
Yeah.
And I hope it happens, especially if Valkyrie is that thing.
Oh my gosh.
And all three of us can play together and I can pass out while you guys win a battle. Great.
Oh my gosh, Eve Valkyrie looks so good. That's the one game that got me really interested in VR. Gosh, that game looks so good. Like that.
Yeah.
And I know what's that game? Elite Dangerous or Star Citizen, one of those games.
Star Citizen Elite. Well, Elite Dangerous is its own weird thing, but Star Citizen is a
monster. That's the game that's like the monster game, right? Like that's
it is the Bigfoot of video games. I don't know if they're actually going to nail that one down.
Like, I mean, that game would be interesting in VR too, and like that's what has me excited is Eve Valkyrie and the possibility of that game, and even a game like No Man's Sky. Because I still think that's what PlayStation's waiting on is for No Man's Sky to be done, and every PlayStation VR will be packed with No Man's Sky.
You and my co-host Imran swears dead to rights.
Imran,
No Man's Sky.
He's the man.
Yeah, Imran rules, man. I love that guy. I wish he spoke more on our show because it seems like he comes on our show and he just hides back. And then anytime you ask him his opinion, he's like, "Oh, that's cool." But I love Imran. He's a smart cat, and the minute he starts speaking more, he will show the world how intelligent he is. He is smarter. He's definitely smarter than me, as I have proven tonight. And
that's why we keep Joey around. He's the brains.
If you say that, I guess.
Kudos, Joey. But yeah, the more I hear him talk about No Man's Sky being VR, the more I'm like, you know what? I think he's right.
Yeah.
And
I honestly think
it's sad to admit, by extension, Corey's probably right.
Hashtag
who
Corey was right.
Who wants to admit Corey's right? Am I right, Joey?
I mean, he's been right.
I can't take you seriously. You're in a funny hat.
Oh man. All right. Well,
video games are weird.
Yeah.
They're weird. And we love them. Why?
Because they're freaking awesome.
I mean, for most of us, it started with this weird plumber stomping on mushroom-shaped monsters.
And turtles.
And eating mushrooms himself. So
yeah.
Turtles.
Which made him taller.
Breaking bricks with what we thought was his head at first, but later found out it was actually his fist.
I actually figured that out pretty early on. I felt smart.
I did. It took me forever. Just like it took me forever to realize that Squirtle was a squirrel and turtle, like mixed together.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm too old for Pokemon. You can't make Pokemon
That
references.
took me way too long to realize.
Oh my gosh, Joey, aren't you excited? In like 2 months, they're releasing Red, Yellow, and Blue on 3DS.
Really?
Yes. I'm so excited with Wi-Fi trading. Yes.
My face the entire time.
Well,
no, I'm too old for Pokemon. I'm just too
No,
old.
you're not. You are not, sir. Game's amazing. I cannot wait
however,
to reopen
I will say this.
Charizard and that little Pokeball and just take him through the first 3 gyms, which are amazingly difficult if you only have Charizard.
I was going to say, it's a fire Pokemon, yeah.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
You feel better? You feel better now?
I do. Thank you.
I will say this. Pokken, the Tekken Pokemon
that's
thing.
right. That game's coming out this year, too.
I'm kind of interested.
Pokken Tournament looks amazing. It's a Pokemon fighting game.
Corey, it's on Wii. It's on Wii U. Because Joey's not going to buy one. How about you and I play Pokken?
Okay.
I'll go over to Corey's house so I can play it.
Yeah.
But see, here's the problem. Here's the problem. We'll just end up playing Rocket League.
True.
Okay. So, what else do we have?
What do you mean? What else do we have?
Video games. We have video games.
We do.
All of us.
We all do.
Video games are in all of us.
It's true. Are they actually inside of us?
I hope not. I think
Because
they're
that
in
would be
front. They're
weird.
right in front of me right now.
All mine are that way. They're all behind me.
I
Except for my Wii U gamepad and my Vita.
I say I got my PlayStation and my 3 PlayStation games that I actually play in
my
front of me.
Vita's over there, and I can't. I'm
Oh,
blocked
Joey,
in.
we need to
I
play
take-
Battlefront.
I know.
We could do a Let's Play multiplayer Battlefront.
We could.
Oh my god.
Battlefront's real fun.
I don't
It
have
is.
a PlayStation capture card though.
I mean, we could play in the
have.
same party.
Oh.
Yeah,
Let's talk to each other.
Right. Got it.
I can pass out while you do it. It'd be great.
Probably. All right, that seems like a good place to wrap up this episode. Matt, you are our kind of special guest in the specialist of ways. Why don't you tell us where
Thank you, Corey Deering.
where we can find you outside of this show?
Oh no. Okay, so first and foremost, Platinum Achievement Podcast. It's on iTunes. We're on Android, whatever podcast app you choose to use. You can search for us. Platinum Achievement Podcast. Myself, Antonio Guillen, Chris Hare, Imran Haji, and Brian Spagnoli. We get up to some shenanigans every week. And we do it for our community, but we kind of want everybody else to join in. We have a really great episode where Brian reads the plot to Parappa the Rapper. You increasingly listen to his mind get blown.
It's the funniest thing.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's one of the funniest. Like, honestly, I didn't even know why I liked Parappa the Rapper until he read that, and I'm like, that's why. And I still can't tell you why. But that's where I would prefer you find me. Otherwise, if you want to play games with me, I'm infinite_rewind on PSN. I'm infinite_rewind on Wii U. I'm actually in the midst of changing my Xbox ID because for some reason I can't remember my password. So that's kind of funny. Thank you, Microsoft. Once I actually get an Xbox One, I'll be able to play games there. But I'm on Twitter, infinite_rewind. You'll probably hear me posting about vinyl that I'm listening to or beer that I'm drinking because I'm a craft beer snob. Instagram, same place. I write a Tumblr every so often about music because I can't stop being a nerd. That's pretty much everywhere you can find me. And I have a lot to say about a lot of things. None of it's probably relevant. But hey, if you want to listen, just saying. Yeah. But these two guys, specifically, these are the guys you need to pay attention to. Digital Nerd Advocates. They're doing great things.
It's not just
I've been a fan of theirs for a while. Ever since before I actually knew Corey and before I passed out playing Destiny with Joey.
Well, thanks for the kind words, Matt. We appreciate it.
That's not kind words. That's legit truth, yo.
It's true. We are pretty awesome. We are awesome. Just me and Joey, though.
That time you admit it.
So modest.
No, I'm gonna step it. Brian's cool too. He has a bit of a Destiny problem. Brian's cool. I like Brian. I like Brian because whenever Corey comes in, like, oh, I know something about Destiny. He's like, nah, you don't know anything about Destiny. Let me talk to you about Destiny.
So let me sit you down for a little bit and let me tell you what's actually going on here.
And see, now if I came in, I'd be like, let me tell you about Helldivers.
Are you still obsessed with that game?
That game's great.
Honestly, I have $50.
I've put more time into Helldivers than you've put into Destiny. I will say that right here.
It's a lot of hours.
That
is a lot of time.
Yeah. And on top of that, I still get platinum trophies. What's up? What's up? Exactly.
You're
you got
making
nothing.
me upset.
Man.
I know. Let's go play Mario Maker.
I probably will after dinner because I'm starving.
Cheers, sir.
Well, this is all I got. This is what I got.
Where do we find you guys? Where do we find you guys?
All right. Well,
Oh, from the Digital Nerd Advocates Facebook group.
Joey and I are part of the DNA podcast, obviously.
Yeah.
Remember, you can like and subscribe and share this video on YouTube. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Pretty much every podcast service you can possibly find. If you listen to it on the Xbox store, congratulations, you're one of like.
You guys are on Xbox? I'm impressed.
Yeah, dude, for how many people not use that service, it is super lame on how you have to get your stuff on the Xbox store. It is ridiculous. You have to like send them an email and you have to like put in all this mumbo jumbo but sorry Xbox, I love you, but you're crap.
Well, it seems like everybody's having a problem with Xbox, from the Super Meat Boy developers to what's his name developing The Witness? I can't remember his name. Jonathan Blow, that's his name.
Yeah.
But whatever. You guys are on Xbox. That's kind of awesome.
I know. But besides that, you can find all of our content on digitalnerdadvocates.com. We have a lot of new shows coming within the next couple of weeks. We hope you come watch, especially Joey's A Toasted Beer, which is the show I'm most excited about. Sorry,
I'm jealous.
But Joey, your show is going to be amazing. We also have Secrets of the Stash, which is our movie show. Weekly Strike is coming back. Brian and I are going to do a smaller version of that show, so that's coming back. A show called Settle Down, which apparently I get mad at really stupid things, and we're gonna film it. So that's a thing. Check out our store on Redbubble. Buy a shirt or two. Help us grow. Buy a coffee mug. Travel size also. Just search DNA Network on Redbubble. It's all one word. Like us on Facebook. Join the DNA community. Join our Destiny community. All the links are below or on the iTunes description. So please check us out there. Rate us, like us, subscribe us. Matt, thank you for joining us this week.
Thanks for having me.
Can't wait to have you back. Seriously, you're one of my favorite people to talk to about games.
I don't believe you at all.
Well, it's on record that I said you're my one of my favorite people. So
these guys are awesome. These guys are awesome. They're fun to play games with. They're just great people. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot in stereo. These two guys are great, and I love everything they do. I'm a bit behind, I'll admit, but that's just holidays. But every time I catch back up, every single time, I'm like, I'm kind of jealous of DNA. So, as a guest in your house, I'm just going to say cheers to you. And this is the only time I'll do a platinum achievement thing on this show. Banana and out. Corey, end this before I take control.
You can find me everywhere at Rogue Spartan 4. You can find Joey at Hydro913 on Twitch, PlayStation, Steam. Pretty much if you enter that in somewhere, it's probably Joey. And if you can't find it, he's not there. So
I typed it in the government database. Joey came up.
You can play games with us. We always love playing with people in the community. Thank you for joining us this week. And until next week, we're out.
Bye.